As twilight descends, the monastic community gathers in the quiet stone corridors of their monastery. The sound of the evening bell echoes through the winding paths, signaling the monks to prepare for Vespers, a time of prayer and reflection as they transition from day into night. In many monasteries, this was one of several bells that guided daily routines, each with its own distinct purpose. The distant toll of the evening bell resonates through the stone walls, growing fainter as it recedes into the distance. Monks would often gather at dusk for Vespers, marking the end of their active day and beginning a period of quiet reflection. Faint candlelight flickers from sconces along the corridors, casting long shadows on the rough-hewn stonework. The texture of ancient stone underfoot is cool and uneven, worn smooth by centuries of footsteps. A chill in the air hints at the approaching night, yet the warmth of a nearby hearth provides a comforting contrast. During this time, monks may have read from illuminated manuscripts or meditated quietly before communal prayer. Monasteries were designed with corridors and cloisters that provided both practical pathways and serene spaces for contemplation. The soft glow of candlelight bathes the space in an amber hue, creating a tranquil atmosphere conducive to introspection. The evening bell continues its slow rhythm, drawing monks together into the chapel. Here, they would often kneel on simple wooden benches or cushions laid upon stone floors. The air is filled with the scent of beeswax and incense, mingling with the faint aroma of herbs drying in nearby chambers. Monks may have recited psalms or sung hymns in a low, harmonious tone, their voices blending into a soothing melody that echoes through the high vaulted ceilings. As Vespers draw to a close, the monks return to their cells or common living spaces, where they might continue their evening devotions alone. The monastery corridors fall silent once more, save for the occasional soft footfall and distant whispers of prayer. The night is settling in, bringing with it a sense of peace and quiet that envelopes the entire community. In these moments, the monks may find solace in the stillness, reflecting on their day's work and preparing their minds for rest. The monastic life, characterized by routine and ritual, offered a structured path towards inner calm and spiritual growth. The monks moved silently through the stone corridors, their footsteps muffled by woolen sandals. The cool air carries a faint scent of incense and herbs, mingling with the earthy aroma of aged parchment from nearby scriptoriums where manuscripts are meticulously copied. Wooden doors creak softly as they open to reveal dimly lit cells and common living spaces. In these quiet moments, some monks may have taken out their personal prayer books or scrolls, illuminated by the soft glow of individual candles. The flickering light casts dancing shadows on the walls, creating an ethereal ambience that enhances the sense of solitude and introspection. The occasional whisper of a psalm or hymn can be heard, carried gently through the corridors. As night deepens, the monastery becomes enveloped in a profound silence, broken only by the distant echo of the evening bell. This rhythmic sound serves as both a reminder of communal duties and an invitation to personal contemplation. The monks may have knelt on simple wooden benches or cushions laid upon stone floors, their minds focused inward. The chapel itself is a place of serene beauty, with high vaulted ceilings that amplify the soft tones of prayer. Beeswax candles flicker in holders along the walls, casting an amber glow over intricate carvings and frescoes. The scent of burning incense fills the air, mingling with the cool night breeze that seeps through small openings in the stone. As Vespers draw to a close, the monks return to their cells or common living spaces, where they might continue their evening devotions alone. In these quiet rooms, the faint light from candles casts long shadows across wooden furniture and rough-hewn walls. The night is settling in, bringing with it a sense of peace that envelopes the entire community. As evening falls, the monks gather in the long wooden hall of their monastery, the air filled with an atmosphere of quiet reverence. The space is dimly lit by lanterns hanging from the ceiling, casting soft shadows on the walls and beams above. In this hallowed setting, they prepare to share a communal meal together. The monks would often eat in silence or speak only when absolutely necessary during meals, maintaining an environment of contemplation. This practice was not just about dietary sustenance but also about spiritual nourishment. The hall is filled with the soft murmur of monks conversing in hushed tones, each word carefully chosen and spoken with a sense of solemnity. The dining tables are made from rough-hewn wood, their surfaces worn smooth by countless hands over many years. Wooden benches line both sides of the tables, providing seating for all those gathered. The texture of these wooden surfaces is palpable, one can almost feel the grain beneath their fingertips as they sit and eat. The meal itself is simple, reflecting the monastic vow of poverty and simplicity. Bread, vegetables, and sometimes fish may have been served, each item chosen not just for its sustenance but also for its symbolic meaning within the community. The monks would often share these meals together, a communal act that reinforced their sense of unity and shared purpose. As they eat, the soft glow of lanterns provides enough light to see without disturbing the peaceful ambience of the evening. The dim lighting adds to the serene atmosphere, casting long shadows on the walls and ceiling beams as if nature itself is taking part in this quiet ritual. Stone or wooden floors underfoot contribute to a sense of solemnity, each step echoing softly through the hall. The air in the dining hall is cool and serene, with a slight chill from open windows or stone walls providing a gentle reminder of the world outside. Yet within these walls, there is a deep sense of peace and tranquility, as if time itself has slowed down to allow for reflection and contemplation. In many monasteries, the corridors leading to the dining hall were designed with care, their architecture contributing to the solemnity of the space. The monks may have walked along stone or wooden floors, each step a deliberate act in this sacred ritual of communal eating. As they sit together, the evening meal becomes more than just a gathering, it is an opportunity for shared silence and reflection. The rough texture of the benches and tables under their hands serves as a constant reminder of the simplicity and austerity that defines monastic life. The monks may have used simple utensils made from wood or metal, each item chosen not for its beauty but for its practicality in this quiet world they inhabit. As the meal progresses, the atmosphere remains one of deep reverence and calm contemplation. In this hallowed space, time seems to stand still, allowing the monks to connect with their inner selves and with one another through shared silence and simple acts of communal eating. Beyond the dining hall, narrow stone corridors stretch into darkness, their walls lined with flickering candles that cast dancing shadows on the rough-hewn stones. The soft sound of distant bells echoes through these passages, marking the passage of time and calling the monks to their evening prayers. The cool air from open windows brushes against faces, carrying a faint scent of earth and herbs from the monastery's gardens. The wooden doors leading into the hall creak softly with each opening and closing, adding to the serene ambience. Monks carry parchment scrolls or small leather-bound books as they move quietly through these corridors, their woolen habits rustling gently. As dawn approaches, a pale moonlight filters through narrow windows, casting silver beams across the floors and illuminating the occasional figure making their way back to their cells for rest. The air is filled with an almost imperceptible hum of activity, yet it remains overwhelmingly quiet, as if each breath taken is a deliberate act in this tranquil world. The monks continue their meal under the dim light of lanterns, finding solace and reflection in the simple acts that define their lives within these hallowed walls. In the dimly lit scriptorium of a medieval monastery, the air is filled with an almost imperceptible hush. The monks sit at long wooden desks, their figures silhouetted by the soft glow of candles that flicker gently in the stillness. These candles are the primary source of light, casting warm but dim shadows across the room and onto the manuscripts they labor over. The monks would often spend long hours here, copying manuscripts to preserve knowledge and religious texts. It is likely that this quiet space was designed specifically for focused work without distraction. The only sounds that break the silence are the gentle scratching of quills against parchment and the occasional whisper of pages turning as a monk reaches for another sheet. The monks would use quills made from feathers dipped in ink to write on parchment, their movements slow and methodical. The smooth, cool texture of the parchment under their hands is palpable, each stroke of the quill leaving its mark with precision and care. The air is slightly cooler than outside, carrying a faint scent of beeswax from the candles that illuminate their work. As night falls deeper into the monastery, the scriptorium becomes even more tranquil. Monks may have taken brief moments to stretch or rest their eyes, but they soon return to their tasks with renewed focus. The dim candlelight casts long shadows across the room, adding a serene ambience to the already peaceful atmosphere. The work in the scriptorium was not only about preserving knowledge but also about fostering a sense of community and shared purpose among the monks. It is likely that many monasteries had similar spaces where the quiet dedication to copying manuscripts became a ritual of sorts, a way for the monks to connect with their faith and contribute to the broader cultural heritage. As the hours pass, the room remains largely unchanged except for the gradual accumulation of completed pages on each monk's desk. The soft scratching continues, a constant rhythm that underscores the importance of this monastic labor. In many cases, these manuscripts would go on to be treasured by future generations, their words and wisdom passed down through centuries. The scriptorium, with its dim light and quiet focus, stands as a testament to the dedication and patience of medieval monks. Here, in the stillness of night, they preserved knowledge and created works that would endure for ages to come. The walls of the scriptorium are thick and stone, providing a barrier against the chill that seeps in from outside during the night. The cool air carries with it a hint of dampness, but it is comfortable in its stillness. Occasionally, a distant bell tolls softly, echoing through the monastery's corridors, reminding the monks of the passage of time. The wooden doors to the scriptorium are slightly ajar, allowing a narrow beam of moonlight to filter into the room. This sliver of light casts intricate shadows on the manuscripts and the monks' hands as they work. The parchment feels cool under their fingers, each sheet smooth yet sturdy, ready for the meticulous strokes of ink. The monks may pause occasionally to stretch or rub at tired eyes, but soon return to their tasks with renewed focus. Some might wrap themselves in woolen cloaks to ward off the chill, while others simply hunch over their work, their breath visible as misty clouds in the cool air. The quiet is profound, only interrupted by the soft rustle of parchment and the occasional murmur of whispered prayers or conversations. As dawn approaches, the room transforms subtly. A faint light begins to seep through small windows high above, casting a gentle glow that gradually replaces the dim candlelight. This transition from night to day brings with it a sense of peace and renewal, as if each completed page is not just ink on parchment but a step closer to eternity. The monks continue their work in this serene environment, their movements slow and deliberate. The quiet dedication they exhibit here is more than just the preservation of knowledge, it is an act of devotion, a ritual that connects them with the past and prepares them for the future. Each stroke of the quill, each whispered word, contributes to a legacy that will endure long after they are gone. In this tranquil space, time seems to slow down, allowing the monks to immerse themselves fully in their tasks. The soft glow of candlelight continues to dance across the room, casting shadows and highlighting the delicate work being done. As the hours pass, the completed manuscripts pile up on each monk's desk, a testament to their dedication and the quiet strength of their community. As dusk falls over the medieval monastery, the monks gather in the chapel for evening prayers. This is known as Vespers, part of the divine office, a strict daily schedule that guides their spiritual lives. The atmosphere inside the chapel is serene and hushed, with soft candlelight flickering across stone walls. In many monasteries, candles or oil lamps provide a dim glow, casting shadows on carved stone pillars and stained glass windows. The monks would often kneel on rough stone floors or wooden benches, facing the altar where religious texts and relics may have been displayed. Each monk contributes their voice to create a harmonious chorus as they recite prayers in Latin. The soft echo of chanting voices reverberates through the chapel walls, blending into a tranquil symphony. The air is cool and still, with a faint scent of incense lingering in the evening chill. Monks move quietly to their positions, their robes brushing against the stone floor, creating a gentle rustle that adds to the calm atmosphere. The flickering candlelight casts dancing shadows across the chapel's interior, adding an element of mystery and reverence. In many cases, these prayers would be accompanied by hymns or psalms, each word carefully enunciated in the ancient language. It is likely that the monks felt a deep sense of peace and connection to their faith during this time. The ritual serves not only as a spiritual practice but also as a moment for reflection and quiet contemplation. As evening prayers continue, the chapel remains bathed in soft light, with shadows playing across the stone walls and wooden beams. Monks may have held small prayer beads or rosaries, running their fingers over them gently while reciting their devotions. The rough texture of the stone floor beneath their robes provides a tangible reminder of their commitment to this daily ritual. The chapel's atmosphere is one of solemnity and reverence, with each monk contributing to the collective harmony of voices. As night deepens outside, the monks remain in this tranquil space, finding solace in the familiar sounds and sights that surround them. The evening prayers serve as a peaceful transition from the day's activities into a quiet, reflective state of mind. In many monasteries, these nightly devotions would continue well after dusk, with additional prayers known as compline marking the end of the day's spiritual observances. As monks prepare for sleep, they carry this sense of calm and reflection with them, ready to embrace another day guided by their faith and traditions. The dim light of candles casts a gentle glow over the monks as they continue their prayers, each voice blending seamlessly into the next. The chapel's wooden doors creak softly with the occasional entry of a latecomer, adding to the serene ambience. Monks may have carried small parchment scrolls or books bound in leather, gently turning pages that whisper against each other. The cool air carries the scent of burning beeswax from the candles, mingling with the earthy aroma of stone and wood. As night deepens, a faint chill seeps through the chapel's walls, but it is not unwelcome. It serves as a reminder of the quiet solitude that envelopes them. The monks might have worn woolen cloaks or tunics to ward off the evening cold, their movements slow and deliberate. In many cases, the sound of distant bells would echo in the corridors outside, signaling the transition from one prayer to another. These subtle sounds punctuate the silence, guiding the monks through their nightly rituals with a gentle rhythm. The chapel's wooden beams stretch high above, supporting the weight of centuries, while stone arches and pillars frame the space below. As dawn approaches, a soft light begins to filter through the stained glass windows, casting colorful patterns across the floor. This subtle shift in light marks the end of evening prayers and the beginning of another day filled with devotion and contemplation. The monks may have paused briefly before leaving the chapel, taking one last moment to reflect on their shared spiritual journey. The quiet corridors outside are bathed in a gentle moonlight that illuminates the path leading back to their dormitories. Each monk's steps are soft, mindful of maintaining the peace as they prepare for restful sleep under the guidance of their faith and traditions. Under the cool, starlit sky of a medieval monastery, silence reigns supreme. The night is thick with tranquility, broken only by the soft crunch of gravel beneath the feet of a lone monk as he walks along the courtyard path. In many monasteries, monks would often patrol the grounds at night to ensure that all was well within the cloister walls. The moonlight filters through the branches of ancient trees, casting long shadows and a silvery glow over the stone walls that enclose this sacred space. The monk moves quietly, his presence barely noticeable against the backdrop of the stillness around him. It is likely that these night watches were conducted in silence to maintain the peace and tranquility of monastic life. The rough texture of the monk's habit brushes gently against his skin as he navigates through the darkened corridors and courtyards. In many cases, monks may have carried lanterns or torches to light their way through the shadows, but tonight, the moon provides ample illumination for this solitary figure. The cool evening air carries with it a faint scent of herbs from the monastery garden, adding another layer of serenity to his quiet vigil. As he rounds a corner, the monk pauses momentarily in front of an open doorway leading into one of the monastic buildings. Inside, the soft glow of candlelight can be seen through narrow windows, hinting at the continued prayers and meditations that take place even as night falls. The monk takes a deep breath, allowing the cool air to fill his lungs, before continuing on his patrol. The courtyard is vast, with tall stone walls stretching up towards the sky like silent sentinels. Ancient trees stand guard along the perimeter, their branches reaching out to frame the moonlit scene. As he walks, the monk's footsteps create a rhythmic pattern that echoes softly in the stillness of the night. This nightly patrol was not just a duty but also an opportunity for reflection and solitude. In many monasteries, monks who were assigned this task may have been chosen based on their reliability and trustworthiness. The night watch was a time to ensure that all was secure within the cloister walls while also providing a moment of quiet introspection amidst the peace of the monastery. The monk's habit feels familiar against his skin as he moves through the courtyard, each step deliberate and unhurried. The cool air carries with it the faintest whisper of wind, rustling leaves in the ancient trees above. As he rounds another corner, the moonlight illuminates a small garden tucked away from the main path. Here, herbs and flowers grow undisturbed by the passage of time. The monk pauses once more, taking a moment to breathe deeply and appreciate the quiet beauty around him. The night is calm, the air crisp, and the world feels at peace in this sacred space. As he continues his patrol, the soft crunch of gravel underfoot blends seamlessly with the rhythm of the night, creating a symphony of tranquility that envelopes the monastery. The moonlight casts shadows that dance across the stone walls, painting intricate patterns on the ground below. The monk's presence is a gentle reminder of the order and peace that permeate this place even as darkness falls. In many cases, these nightly patrols were not just about security but also about maintaining the spiritual atmosphere of the monastery. As he completes his round, the monk returns to the main courtyard, where the moonlight continues to bathe everything in a silvery glow. The night is almost over, and soon, the dawn will break, bringing with it another day of prayer, study, and reflection. For now, however, the world remains quiet, a perfect moment frozen in time under the watchful eye of the moon. As he walks past a series of wooden doors leading to individual cells, the monk can hear faint murmurs of prayer and meditation coming from within. The soft crackling of candlelight through narrow windows provides just enough illumination to guide his path without disturbing the peace inside. Each cell door is made of sturdy wood, its surface worn smooth by countless hands over the years. The cool air carries a subtle whisper of dawn approaching, bringing with it the faintest hint of daylight breaking on the horizon. The monk pauses briefly at an open doorway where a small cloister garden lies hidden from view. Here, the moonlight illuminates rows of herbs and flowers that thrive in the monastery's care. As he steps into the garden, the soft rustle of leaves underfoot is almost imperceptible. The monk takes another deep breath, feeling the cool air fill his lungs with a sense of calm. The courtyard walls loom tall around him, their rough stone surfaces catching and reflecting the moonlight in subtle ways. In many cases, monks may have used this time to reflect on their daily duties and prepare for the coming day's tasks. As he continues his patrol, the rhythmic crunch of gravel underfoot blends seamlessly with the quiet rustle of leaves above. The distant sound of a bell tolling echoes through the night air, marking the passage of another hour. The monk pauses once more, allowing the sound to resonate within him before continuing on his solitary journey. In many monasteries, as the day draws to its close, monks would retire to their sleeping quarters, a place designed for rest but also marked by a profound sense of peace and solitude. In many cases, these quarters were communal spaces known as dormitories, where brothers may have shared large rooms filled with simple beds or straw pallets. The dormitory was often situated near the church so that monks could quickly attend night vigils and other religious duties if needed. This proximity to prayer ensured that even in sleep, their minds remained close to spiritual contemplation. The walls of these spaces were typically made of stone or wood, with wooden beams crisscrossing above, creating a sturdy yet cozy atmosphere. Dim candlelight flickered across the surfaces, casting shadows that danced and shifted with each breath of wind that found its way through small windows. These openings allowed for a cool, crisp air to circulate, carrying with it the faint scent of herbs from the monastery garden. The woolen blankets used by monks were rough yet warm against the skin, providing comfort in the chill of night. Soft whispers of breathing and occasional snoring filled the dormitory, creating a gentle symphony that underscored the quietude of the space. In many monasteries, strict rules about silence may have been enforced to maintain this peaceful environment. Conversations were kept to a minimum, if not entirely avoided, ensuring that each monk could find solace in their own thoughts and dreams. The simplicity of the sleeping quarters reflected the monastic commitment to humility and detachment from worldly comforts. Each bed or pallet was modestly furnished, with no excesses to distract from the essential purpose of rest and renewal. The focus was on providing a space where monks could rejuvenate both body and spirit for the next day's duties. As night deepened, the flickering candlelight cast long shadows that seemed to stretch into the corners of the room, creating an almost ethereal ambience. This dim lighting allowed for a gradual transition between wakefulness and sleep, easing the mind into rest without sudden darkness or harsh light. The monks may have found comfort in this gentle environment, where each breath was shared with brothers who were also seeking peace. The sound of breathing grew more rhythmic as time passed, indicating that many had drifted off to sleep. Even in these moments of quiet repose, the dormitory remained a place of reverence and reflection, a sanctuary within the larger community of faith. As the night wore on, the dormitory became a place of deep stillness. The rhythmic breathing of the monks filled the air, creating an almost hypnotic lull that seemed to blend with the soft creaking of wooden beams overhead. Occasionally, the distant sound of a bell would echo through the corridors outside, marking another hour of the night and reminding the brothers of their spiritual duties. The cool evening breeze drifted in through small openings high up on the walls, carrying with it the scent of herbs from the monastery garden below. This gentle air circulated around the wooden doors that separated each row of beds, ensuring a fresh atmosphere even as the candlelight began to dim. The monks lay beneath woolen blankets, their bodies enveloped by the warmth and comfort of simple yet effective materials. In some cases, parchment scrolls might have been placed on small wooden stands near each bed, serving as reminders of the texts they would study in the morning or the prayers they needed to recite before sleep. These humble objects added a layer of quiet reverence to the space, underscoring the monks' dedication to their faith and learning. As dawn approached, a pale light began to filter through the small windows, casting long shadows across the stone walls and wooden beams. The flickering candlelight gradually faded as the first rays of sunlight brought a subtle change in atmosphere. The dormitory transformed from a place of deep night into one that welcomed the new day with quiet anticipation. In the stillness of the night, monks would often rise quietly from their beds, guided by years of practice in silence and reverence. Their movements were deliberate, almost imperceptible as they made their way through dimly lit stone corridors. The soft creaking of wooden floors underfoot echoed softly, a gentle reminder that even in darkness, life continued its quiet rhythm. The chapel stood at the heart of monastic life, serving as a sacred space for communal worship and individual reflection. It was here that monks would often gather for matins, part of their nightly prayer cycle. The air inside was cool and still, carrying faint whispers of incense and candle smoke. Dim candlelight flickered across ancient stone walls, casting long shadows in the chapel. As they stood alone or in small groups, the monks may have engaged in silent meditation or reading from religious texts to deepen their spiritual connection. The texture of worn manuscripts held reverently during these sessions was a testament to the passage of time and the dedication of generations past. Each page turned with care, as if handling something sacred. The chapel's thick stone walls and small windows were designed to maintain a calm and secluded environment. A cool night breeze would seep through high-set windows, bringing a chill to the air. This gentle reminder of the world beyond the monastery's walls added an element of solitude to their reflections. In many monasteries, this nightly ritual was not just about prayer but also about finding inner peace and connection with the divine. The monks may have sought solace in the quiet moments, allowing themselves to be enveloped by the serene atmosphere that surrounded them. Each breath drawn in was a moment of stillness, each thought a reflection on their place within the larger tapestry of life. As the night deepened, these quiet hours of contemplation continued, a gentle reminder of the enduring nature of faith and devotion. The chapel remained a sanctuary, a space where thoughts could wander freely and minds could find rest in the calm embrace of the night. The soft glow of candles cast a gentle light upon the worn manuscripts and ancient relics within the chapel. Monks would often hold these texts close, their hands moving slowly over the pages as they read aloud or in silence. The parchment was thick and delicate, bearing the marks of countless fingers that had touched it before them. As the monks stood in small groups or alone, the faint sound of a distant bell could sometimes be heard, marking the passage of time even within the quiet confines of the monastery. This subtle reminder served as a guide for their meditative practices, helping to anchor their thoughts and prayers in the present moment. The chapel's thick stone walls absorbed much of the external world, creating an environment that was both isolated and serene. The cool night breeze continued to seep through narrow windows, carrying with it the scent of nearby fields and forests. This gentle reminder of nature outside the monastery added a sense of peace and tranquility to their reflections. The monks may have wrapped themselves in woolen cloaks or blankets as they sat on stone benches, finding comfort in both the material warmth and the spiritual calm that surrounded them. The chapel's interior was often adorned with simple yet striking decorations, icons painted on wooden panels, intricate carvings along the walls, and delicate stained glass windows that cast colorful patterns upon the floor when sunlight filtered through. During these quiet hours of reflection, the monks might have gazed at these details, finding inspiration in their beauty and symbolism. As dawn approached, a subtle change began to occur within the chapel. The flickering candlelight gradually gave way to the first hints of morning light filtering through the high-set windows. This transition from darkness to daylight was marked by an almost imperceptible shift in the atmosphere, signaling the end of one cycle and the beginning of another. The monks would often take this moment to pause and reflect on their nightly contemplations, perhaps jotting down notes or meditating further before returning to their daily routines. The chapel remained a sanctuary where thoughts could wander freely, minds could find rest, and spirits could be rejuvenated in the calm embrace of the night. As dawn begins to approach, the first light of morning gently filters through the monastery's high windows. The courtyard is bathed in a soft, silvery glow as the world outside the cloister walls gradually comes alive with the sounds of nature. In many monasteries, this was the time when monks would often awaken from their rest, aligning themselves spiritually with the start of a new day. The early morning light may have been dim, filtering through stained glass windows or small openings in the walls. The courtyard and cloisters were designed to be quiet spaces where monks could walk and meditate in peace. As the first rays of sunlight cast long shadows across the stones, the soft rhythmic sound of distant church bells would ring out, marking the beginning of morning prayers. In many monasteries, these early morning rituals would mark the start of a structured daily routine for the monks. The cool texture of stone walls and floors underfoot may have been comforting as they walked through the cloisters, their steps echoing gently in the stillness of the dawn. A crisp chill in the air signaled the transition from night to day, adding a sense of renewal and freshness to the awakening monastery. The courtyard would likely be quiet except for the occasional rustling of leaves or distant bird calls. Monks may have taken this time to reflect quietly on their duties and intentions for the day ahead. The early morning light would often create an ethereal atmosphere, with shadows dancing across the stones as the sun climbed higher into the sky. As dawn's approach continued, the monastery began to stir slowly but surely. In many cases, monks would gather in the chapel or refectory for their first communal prayers of the day. The courtyard and cloisters remained peaceful havens where they could find solitude amidst the awakening world around them. In the quiet hallways of the monastery, the soft click of wooden doors opening and closing could be heard as monks prepared to begin their day. The air was filled with a faint scent of beeswax from candles that had burned through the night, now slowly fading into the cool morning breeze. As the sun climbed higher in the sky, the last remnants of moonlight would disappear, replaced by an ethereal glow that seemed to permeate every corner of the monastery. The monks may have gathered their simple belongings, perhaps a few sheets of parchment and a quill pen, to jot down reflections or notes for the day's tasks. The sound of footsteps on stone floors echoed softly through the corridors, each step measured and deliberate. In many cases, these early morning moments were dedicated to personal reflection and preparation. As dawn progressed, the courtyard would remain a tranquil oasis amidst the awakening world. Monks might sit quietly on benches or walk slowly along the cloister paths, their minds focused inward as they prepared for communal prayers ahead. The soft rustling of parchment pages turning could be heard occasionally, accompanied by the occasional murmur of whispered contemplation. The cool air carried with it a crispness that seemed to invigorate the senses, and the monks may have wrapped themselves in woolen cloaks or shawls as they moved about their morning routines. The courtyard, bathed in the gentle light of dawn, offered a serene backdrop for these quiet activities. Shadows danced across stone walls and arches as the sun climbed higher, casting long shadows that shifted with each passing moment. In many monasteries, monks would often pause to read from sacred texts or write down their thoughts on parchment scrolls. The sound of pages turning and quills scratching against paper might be the only sounds heard in these early morning hours, creating a sense of calm and focused intention. As dawn's light grew stronger, the courtyard and cloisters continued to serve as peaceful havens where monks could find solitude amidst the awakening world around them. The soft glow of candles that had burned through the night would gradually fade, replaced by the warm embrace of morning sunlight filtering through high windows or stained glass. This transition from candlelight to daylight marked a symbolic shift in the daily rhythm of monastic life, signaling both an end and a new beginning.